Hi, welcome to Comic Run. I'm Matt.
I'm Kent.
Justin.
Ron.
Special guest Ron this week. So, as again, we go to get comics. We don't talk about our actual work lives. We talk about things that don't have any bearing, in real life.
So, not just a podcast about comics, a podcast about whatever nerd stuff came up this week. So, first topic, anybody?
Red Skull.
Red Skull.
Red Skull.
Oh, dude, that's off. That was
all right. Ron, did you see that?
Are we talking about the Red Skull facial modification guy?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so
so bad.
All right, so there's a guy in South America that is really big into facial tattoos, modification.
He dropped out of med school.
Dropped out of med school. Probably wanted cheap access to needles and other things to cut. So he has gone on like a crusade to become the Red Skull.
There's two different people here. The guy who did the modifications was the one who left med school to become, he's like a piercer and a modifier.
Right.
The guy who was obsessed with Red Skull is the patient.
I think he's too much of a dumbass to have gone to medical school.
Anyways,
It's so bad.
he's tattooed his eyes black.
Oh.
Ron, have you ever tattooed someone's eyes?
I
Ron
have
tattoos.
I tattoo. I have never tattooed someone's eyeball, nor will I ever.
That seems like the margin of error there for screwing up and blinding someone's pretty low.
So my problem with the facial modification guy, the guy who got it, is he looks nothing like the Red Skull at all.
Yeah.
So he has circular implants that looks like steel washers under
Yeah, I
his
think those
forehead.
were early. Like, I think that was before it was like, hey man, I'm all in.
And then he's got like lumps underneath his eyebrows to make his brow ridge bigger.
Other brow ridge. He shaved off his eyebrows and now he has a predominant brow ridge.
He's got implants under his eyebrows too. Like,
I have to ask this guy if he's ever heard of cosplay.
yeah.
Because that would
A
be
mask
an effective
just
alternative.
wouldn't do.
Yeah, because you can take the mask off when you go out on dates.
By the way, he is a husband and father, so you
Yeah.
can imagine getting a kiss from dad at night.
Oh, so we
Good
haven't
night, son.
we haven't mentioned the most relevant modification.
Just cut off his nose.
He had his nose cut off,
Oh, that's
and then
right.
his forehead and cheeks are tattooed red. He has like black stripes, but they don't look good. The thing that really bugged me is the whole skull tattoo on the face looks horrible.
It does.
It just looks like they did as many needles as they could and did color stripes across his whole
I, for
face.
one, if he happens to be watching, want to say that his scary facial modifications look great and that he shouldn't come after my family nor my loved ones.
What are the odds that that guy is going to be able to get from South America across
through
the
an
US
airport
border looking like he does? I know he can't pass the metal detector.
And
That's
you definitely need a new passport photo.
yeah. I'm sorry. We're going to need a photo that includes your nose, as it currently is.
What are those children's nightmares, though? I mean, like, if Dad looks like Satan, like
Okay,
the
so when I was a kid, at Halloween, Dad broke out the Halloween box and put on a Satan mask and scared all of us kids. I'm 47 years old now, and it still weirds me out.
Matt had the best segue, considering talking about blinding people with your eyes.
Daredevil!
Daredevil! Oh, we missed the...
Okay,
Make-
I have
make
to go on
edit
record
here.
as saying that I was one of the 4 people in the United States that actually liked Ben Affleck in Daredevil. Not for the whole thing, but part of it. And it seemed like all the best parts and the moody parts were picked up directly and put right in the new trailer for the Netflix show, which I'm excited
Yeah, but he never ground his teeth floating in a tank of water in the new trailer. That was what killed me for the Daredevil movie. And I didn't hate the Daredevil movie. I just thought it was not what people thought it was going to be. They're like, this is be like Spider-Man, right? A little bit funny? No.
That was funny. I mean, they him and Elektra had a little dance martial arts off in the schoolyard.
That was one of my
was funny.
most
You got
entertaining things.
served.
Pretty,
I would have to say that nobody told the Bullseye actor, Colin, what's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Nobody told him it wasn't going to be funny. I think he was under the impression the whole thing was camp.
well, I mean, that is like, what, 2002? That's pretty early on.
I just
to
stabbed a
actually
man to
have-
death with a baton. That's not how those work.
So the new one, he's clad in black. It's dark. It's awesome.
He looks like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Oh no, you just ruined the whole thing for me.
Well, you sent that picture.
I would
around
watch
of the,
that. Dread Pirate
the
Roberts
old
beating the hell out of
Incredible
people.
Hulk. I mean, he is wearing the same costume.
Oh, the Lou Ferrigno movie with Daredevil, who's
Daredevil.
wearing the same black costume.
Yeah, ninja costume.
Yeah, that's.
I just like that Daredevil's been around long enough that people have picked picked up on that, and then other weird, like, oh hey, there's that period of 12 issues where he was wearing a black costume, and they just keep bringing it back. Just keep bringing it back.
Well, it's like the symbiote Spider-Man costume. People are obsessed with the black Spider-Man costume, and it's like,
'Cause it looks cool.
It does.
it
look
wasn't
cooler.
used for that
Way
long.
cooler. That's why Venom's cool. It's not because Venom's a cool character.
It's his costume is neat.
Very neat.
Sure.
Super neat. Kent, did you watch the trailer?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You're not excited?
Sound-
You're totally...
I'm no. I actually I have not read the Frank Miller run of Daredevil, and I just feel like if I would, I'd become so much bigger fan. But my only experience with Daredevil was the 2002 movie.
That's it.
That's
Oh,
it.
wow.
Huh.
Yeah.
Not even lawyer trying to save Hulk.
Nope. Not that.
Oh man. Oh, those were so bad.
What about the Kevin Smith run?
Nope. Didn't see it. Didn't read it.
You just don't give a shit about the blind, do you?
I have to say thumbs up to Netflix though for letting us binge watch, because they're loading all the episodes at once.
Yes.
Which is great. So basically, talk to me 13 hours after I start, and I'll tell you what I think.
I think it's the best thing.
There was
Did they do that with the extra season of Arrested Development? Wasn't
I
it all?
didn't
Yeah.
get through that.
And
It was so
and
bad.
both the
Yeah.
House of Cards are just dumped on.
They just put the whole
Which
season on.
I
Netflix.
think.
Cards was awesome.
I think for them in terms of viewership, you would consistently get everybody hits every episode of everything, because it's just we'll just watch the next one. We'll just watch the next one.
Netflix knows exactly what we want. We want to shoot Daredevil right into this vein and watch the whole season at once in one big binge.
And then wait a year
They should
for
just
the next binge.
they should just give you the option, do you still want to get DVDs by mail? Do you want adult diapers by mail?
Amazon.
That's a service we offer
Speaking
now.
of getting adult diapers by mail, Amazon, puts all their pilots up on for you just to watch, any of the stuff that they're considering. You can watch that, and then they can kind of gauge,
Wow.
oh man,
See,
this
I
is.
don't want that, because then I'll be like, I love this show, and they'll change the actors, and then they'll not do it.
Right.
But with that being said, that's how Deadpool, the Deadpool stuff got.
Through the league.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds was absolutely 100% the leak, and everybody being oh my gosh, they should totally make this movie. This is very cool.
I ate some banana.
Yeah.
I actually like the fact that they filmed this entire first season without input from
Fans.
the internet world of people, because
Right.
3 episodes in, they'd be going, oh no, we need to introduce a
The
Latina character.
blogosphere is blowing up right now.
They don't-
They're so upset about this one thing.
They don't like the one girl he's chasing. They wanted the other girl to be we should have a love triangle arc for at least 3 episodes. No.
People love triangle arcs. Ken, what was the podcast that had the real life Daredevil guy? The blind guy that clicks?
This American Life.
This American Life. So
Oh, yeah.
there's a This
He
American Life
echolocates?
episode
He's on
recently.
Stanley's Superhuman
Oh.
Ability show, or whatever it's called.
Man, whoever's writing Daredevil should just hang out with that guy for a week.
He's
and
kind
just
of
be
boring. He just rides a bike between cars.
No,
and
but
stuff.
he rides a bike. He's teaching other blind people to
to walk around and click.
to walk, click,
To
and to climb
echolocate.
trees. He mountain climbs. I mean, this guy is insane. And we did have that guy that flew a plane that was blinded at the.
That's true.
Oh, at the local
Yeah,
airport
yeah.
here.
And
Yeah.
it's quite inspiring.
That was.
It did not make me inspired to either be blind or fly a plane, though.
I don't want to fly with that guy. I think it's great that he wants to, but I don't think my insurance can cover that.
I think Matt wants Daredevil to be instead just like MacGyver with a blind guy. Oh man, how do I need to fly a plane right now?
There's no
Blind
braille.
guy,
There's
right?
no braille in this elevator. How do I find the correct button? He knows the schematics.
But it was really, really fascinating.
taking the panel
and it
off
was
with the
definitely-
screwdriver.
It was one of those moments where you're like, wow, Daredevil as a character is not so far from. I mean, he's far, but he's closer to reality than I thought.
Well, at least he doesn't have superpowers other than his heightened senses. I mean, for a while there, you couldn't sell a Daredevil book because everything else was, people throwing cars at each other. It gets ridiculous.
So his power is basically being pissed off.
And
So he's
he
Mr.
has-
Furious.
No, he has no fear.
Oh, okay.
No fear.
He's no fear, but he's still
Heightened
pissed
senses.
off. Otherwise, he'd just be lawyering.
His other-
Heightened senses,
He's more of a street level guy,
any of the not when he's not Daredevil, everything else should be overly exaggerated. Oh, Mr. Murdoch, here, come here. Come here, walk through the doorway over here. Like, no, I got this. I got a stick. No, let's.
Let me get that for you.
Let me get that door for you,
He's
sir.
just like, I'm so tired of people condescending.
The chair's right here. Just feel it with your hand. Feel it with your hand,
Now that
sir.
Daredevil's in California, I think he should really take up the the handicap requirements. I think that should be the main push of his lawyer side. Enough hooks for my coat in this restroom, and we're gonna sue the hell out.
All right, so how many episodes in do we get until he's driving there's a driving the car gag where he's driving not as Daredevil, and somebody's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? How can you do this?"
You think they'll throw that in there?
I think.
Has Daredevil ever driven a car in the comics? I wondered about that the other day. I've never been a Daredevil reader. I've picked up a couple of trade paperbacks.
Why is Mars Attacks so popular?
Show him the cover of the comic. So, briefly discussed in the comic shop, now in the car. I don't know. The first time I saw that movie, I had like the flu or something. I just remember I was home.
Whoa.
Car coming? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. The first time I saw that movie, I was sick. I was sitting at home, and I remember watching the whole thing and then thinking, I'm dumber now than I was when this started.
Well, it did start off as a Topps trading cards.
No, I didn't know anything about it except that it was the hot movie at that time.
So, I mean, it has the level of literary sophistication of...
Garbage Pail Kids?
Yeah, exactly, which also made a really shitty movie. So, I don't know, things that are cool about it. Giant brained aliens and fish bowls. I mean, aesthetically, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
Death rays.
Yeah.
Giant ants killing people.
That weird noise the aliens make, the barking kind of weird chatter they do.
It was a Tim Burton movie.
That explains a lot about it. He's a weirdo.
So I'm.
Was Johnny Depp in it somewhere?
No.
No.
That's
probably why.
That's before we started doing that?
Just speaking from a purely evolutionary standpoint, so mankind has a very solid, massive bone around the brain, and then yet these aliens have evolved super smart and yet glass bowls.
Well, no, I think that it's part of their technology.
Oh,
just so
okay.
they can breathe in our atmosphere.
Ah,
But they just walk around with their brains out all the time. Is what
I
you're
see.
saying.
That sounds way safer.
Well,
So, like, the
it's
baby
really-
soft spot is their entire head.
yeah. Well, I mean,
you dropped the baby. Now it wants to kill humanity.
it's a trade-off for us.
Thanks a lot.
It's a trade-off for us. It's really easy to hit us in the junk because there's no protection down there, and for them, that's their whole head.
The sacrifice of the brain.
Huh.
Maybe they have reinforced armor plates in the crotchular region. I think we've exhausted that topic.
Yeah.
New topic.
Here, let me see the back of that comic. Hold on.
So Flash. Anybody watch Flash this week? It was kind of a throwaway episode. I mean, it was all right.
Well, it's throwaway.
It's just an episode that didn't move the plot any.
I'm kind of surprised
Hey,
how.
Pied Piper. Oh wait, spoiler alert! Pied Piper got out.
Yeah. Well, okay. We need to preface these with what episode so that people don't watch and get spoiled. But anyway, it's already aired. I was kind of surprised Pied Piper in the comics is kind of a lame villain, and in this one he's very aggressive and like at one point he knocks somebody out with a sonic pulse, and then he manages to like curb stomp them while they're down. Like he kicks them in the ribs 3 or 4 times before he runs off, and you're like, that was unnecessarily brutal. You already knocked him out. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I think they're hyping him up to be a recurring pain in the ass villain.
I did like Agent Carter this week. He got the Howling Commandos.
I haven't gotten there yet. I've wrapped up last week's.
Did they use the actors from the movie?
That's a good question. I don't know. Dum Dum Dugan did look like Dum Dum Dugan, but it could have been someone else in that bowler hat. I just don't know.
I think it's the same guys they're using for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because the beginning of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this season had like a Howling Commandos flashback in one of the episodes. So I wonder if they probably used the same team both days of filming.
Oh yeah. Get some time saving.
I like the Howling Commandos. I would like a show of just them. Can we get that?
I don't think so.
Damn. A miniseries like Daredevil, where it's just going to be like 12 episodes?
It would turn into a TV show, much like Hogan's Heroes.
Probably.
I'm okay with that.
Heroes. I think that Hogan's Heroes may be.
I'd watch it.
Until one of them's involved in a sex scandal
Are you
and
really
then
that
dies. or
much a
something.
fan of like
Bob Crane.
Yeah.
Frenchie and Pinky and
When I
all the Howling Commandos? Do you have a soft
before we get
spot?
off Hogan Heroes,
I'm
before we
just
get off
saying
Hogan's
it's a
Heroes,
setup for a good series.
when I got my wisdom teeth pulled out, my mom was like, "Oh, she took me to the Blockbuster. Go, you can go." Took me to the Blockbuster because she's like, "You're gonna be down all day. Just go ahead and grab like 5 movies." And I grabbed Blues Brothers. You know, a couple solid movies, but the two out of context ones were, I think it was 12 or 13 at the time. I got The Big Lebowski, which I had not seen for the first time. And my mom's response was, Jeff Bridges is a really good actor. There's a lot of really good actors in here, and I think it's about a bowling alley. And the second movie that I got was Autofocus, The Life and Times of Bob Crane. With that's Greg Kinnear. Greg Kinnear is one of his best roles as Bob Crane, but all post Hogan's Heroes, getting into the tell me about this video camera. So you can film anything.
He goes to a creepy place, is what I'm told.
It goes to a very, and Greg Kinnear aces the role. But I was a big Hogan's Heroes fan, and I'm like,
well,
I'm
childhood
getting these
ruined.
movies, and Mom's like, okay, cool, no problem.
Wow.
And yeah.
Childhood ruined, scarred for life.
Well, I think the big problem was that I was reading the back of them, but I was still pretty drugged out. My mom had driven me directly from the operation to the Blockbuster.
Oh, that's not a good plan.
And I'm like, autofocus. Hogan's Heroes.
That could be a podcast all on its own. Is post dental surgery Blockbuster picks.
Can we get you additional dental surgery so that we can just do a podcast of it? Now,
There's no Blockbuster for me to walk around in an hour.
Isn't Greg Kinnear the one that played Captain Amazing in Mystery Men? Flip the switch! You're an idiot! You're an idiot! When he yells at Janine Garofalo and what's the shoveler? He's just screaming at him. Flip the toggle. How many toggle flips in total are there?
And Toto.
Yes. That's what I feel like every time somebody calls me at work with a frantic problem. And they're like, hold on, I need to understand the whole process. And they're just, you're an idiot, do the thing. And you're like, he got fraculated, psycho-fraculated.
Oh, what a great movie.
That is a brilliant, overlooked, it's like a brilliant crap movie.
Well, it was a movie that was too ahead of its time. It was before the premise of there's hundreds of superheroes. There's just people who are amazing at shoveling and decide that they're going to fight crime at night.
I shovel well. God gave me a gift. I shovel well. I'm going to leave you. She says that several times. I'm going to leave you. Oh, that's fair.
I think nowadays the movie would be it would be much more well received because it's fucking superheroes everywhere. Like how somebody's taking a spin on that. Brilliant.
Can we do a
backyard pool party to?
Can we do a remastered version? Also, I like that movie because Dane Cook plays a complete dumbass and it makes a mockery of himself.
Who does he play?
He was the Waffle Man.
Oh, Waffle Man!
Yeah, he sings a song and he has truth syrup on his belt and a griddle of justice. He burns his face with it. And I'm like, I hope with all the money he's made and the amount of kind of douchebag humor he does now that every once in a while he thinks about playing that role and he cries inside.
God bless me.
Gazanchu. I'm playing a new game this week. It's in Steam Early Alpha, and it's called Besiege. To be sieged. Besiege, and it's $7 or $6, and it runs on really low hardware requirements. Any Core 2 Duo processor will run it on Windows. But it's like a Lego game where you put together siege engines, and then you're just given an objective get through this fort and come out the other side, or kill all the archers, or whatever it is, and you can build these horrible whirling contraptions that are covered with blades and spikes and wheels and shields. And my favorite Steam review, the one that's at the top of the list right now, said, I tried to build a catapult that shoots bombs, built a bomb that shoots catapults. 11 of 10 would buy again. It's kind of like there's the Kerbal Space Project is a very gritty, like very hard science details based science or space sim. Oh, big chunks of snow in the road. And this kind of goes the entire other zany contraption-y dimension of it. It's pretty awesome.
Speaking of that, I tried to get into a simulator to learn how to drive stick, and that is a lot harder.
Do you not know how to drive stick?
No, never have driven stick.
Judging you.
A little bit.
My dad taught me how to drive stick. He parked me in the high school parking lot during a snowstorm, and he said my cousin's house was right across the road. We were having dinner there. He was like, "Well, we're a couple hours early. Why don't you just go ahead and drive around this lot? If you need me, I'll be over there." And he left me in the lot for like an hour driving stick and killing the engine over and over. You eventually get it.
Yeah, that was the one. The simulator is not forgiving on killing the engine.
Neither are the real cars.
There's a big red light that goes. The big red light that's like stalled, restart.
Did you find this at a local high school?
No, Honda.
And how do you get into the local high school?
Well, they leave doors open all the time. Typically, the custodians where they work, it's very hot, so they just leave the doors open. You just walk right in.
They frown on that.
It's wear a tie. Wear a tie, and they think you're a teacher.
So you're in a simulator.
So it's actually, no, it's Honda. Honda.com has its own simulator built into it. But the problem is it's like all like key commands.
No, that's not going to work. This doesn't teach you any practical skills. It's like saying I'm trying to learn stick in Grand Theft Auto.
Well, I would go to my local.
Where's the left stick?
I would go to an arcade with a roll of quarters, but none of the local.
Where's my QWERTY keyboard in this car? I can't figure it out.
Less than 5 years, none of this is going to matter. It's all going to be autonomous cars. It's going to be fine. But no, there's no local arcade that's got a, got a solid simulator. Got an actual.
Okay, if you're trying to learn how to drive stick, what about Daytona? It's free.
There's no clutch to it. It's just.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, the clutch is the tricky part because it doesn't work like you're braking your gas. It's completely weird. Now, Matt, games,
I've been playing Scott Pilgrim again.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the Xbox, or
yeah,
we had that a while back.
Okay, so I had.
Kristen loves that game.
That's a great
video game moment for myself. Me being the video game nerd poser that was addicted to Atari 2600 and then really never anything after that. I actually finished.
None of those games are ever going to be as good as Atari 2600.
I finished a video game.
Which one?
I finished Call of Duty, Big Red 1.
Well, it's all
it
3D.
ended. It ended. I'm playing. I'm like, oh, awesome! I just blew up some rockets, and then suddenly credits were rolling. Like, it's over.
Did you do like the Dora the Explorer "We Did It" dance at the end?
No, I was actually confused, and I thought, well, I've got at least a half more hour to play here, and
guess I should start over.
Multiplayer and get yourself killed over and over and over again.
So I figure next time
like
I'm
having
play
some kid tell you.
So what did you play it on?
I have an original Xbox that I bought because I saw an internet commercial. This is years ago. An internet
On the
commercial
internet?
for Hulk: Ultimate Destruction.
Ooh, that was
And
a bad
as soon as I
game.
saw that, I was like, I'm buying an Xbox. And for the longest time, that was the only game I owned.
Did you make Ultimate Destruction?
I did. You can do all kinds of stuff in there, including grabbing cows and throwing them at helicopters and stuff.
That was one of the first Xbox games that had destructible environments. Like you could smash a building down.
Right.
Well, that makes sense.
Does it
He
allow
is
you to
the
throw a
Hulk.
bear?
He does destruct his
Do you get to fight and then throw a bear, like in the TV show?
Oh, like in the TV show. Do I get to throw a guy in a bear costume? No, I did not encounter that.
I think I missed that episode.
Did you notice how closely the Thor and Avengers Thor costume was just totally derivative of Thor in the Lou Ferrigno Hulk movie? Like
what I'm really hoping for is now that we got Howard the Duck from the 80s, I'm hoping that this also means Adventures in Babysitting is also part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
If you want to believe that, I don't think they're going to contradict you directly in any of the movies. But I doubt they're going to address the issue.
Has anybody ever been a fan of Howard the Duck? Like, did anybody read the comics?
No.
Because
you know what? I picked up a couple of them when they did a reboot with him in the
it's not
early
like,
2000s. He was a guest character in some other comics, and I had some of those.
I'm trying to remember if it was an early Marvel Comics. It was sometime in the late 70s, probably, where either Howard the Duck made an appearance in a Kiss comic book, or Kiss made an appearance in a Howard the Duck comic book. But
Howard the Duck and Kiss Save Christmas.
I'm pretty sure that was Archie.
Jinkies. At the end of that comic, somebody got a mask pulled off their head, and then everybody got in the van and drove away.
That is one of the best Family Guy. That episode, that first Christmas episode, we're like, I gotta sit down and watch Kiss Saves Christmas. Like, don't worry, Saint Nick. Like, everyone to the guitar chopper.
Has anyone ever seen the Kiss movie? The actual
Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. I saw it when it showed on NBC. The year it showed, it was 1979.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure.
How did that work?
Yes.
I mean, there's a plot. But I think the problem is that it was the way that it was filmed was like, all right, so Gene's gonna say this line, and then Chris, you're gonna come in and say this line, and then you're gonna say this line.
So I do have a pice of trivia that you remember Zan and Jaina, the Wonder Twins?
Yeah.
So
No, I don't remember that.
I refuse to remember that.
the drummer of Kiss, Peter Criss, hated being in the movie so much that he didn't even show up for the dialogue voiceover stuff. And so they're like, Peter didn't show up, we need a voice. They got Zan from the Wonder Twins, and so if you watch the Kiss movie, that's whose voice it is. And when I was in 6th grade watching this, I thought, oh my gosh, it turns out that Peter Criss is the guy who does the voice for the Wonder Twins, not the other way around.
Logic.
Clearly, he's moonlighting as a superhero.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, that does seem to me the more, like, those are real people. I mean, they might be in makeup, but those are real people, whereas the Wonder Twins are all animated. Like, why would you overdub a real person? I mean, to a 6-year-old, that does make
It's true.
total and utter sense.
It's true.
At some point, we're going to exhaust all the good superhero movies and do all the reboots to the point where someone's going to go, okay, time for the gritty reboot of the Wonder Twins.
The gritty reboot?
Yeah, it has to be a gritty reboot, like Christopher Nolan style.
So has anyone read anything about the possibility of a live-action Thundercats happening in the next 2 years?
What?
No, I'm asking if anybody's read this,
no.
because it would be a great idea if it was done well.
I need to,
Thundercat, you can't have Snarf because that's ridiculous.
Not half cat, half.
Snarf.
well, they did a comic reboot a few years back where they jumped the story ahead like 10 years or something and continued it. And they killed I believe they killed both of the kids.
Oh,
They died in the revolution or whatever.
Huh.
Everyone else was like in stasis or something.
Revolution, was it like a cats versus
There was a
dogs
war.
kind of
No,
thing?
there was a war or something. And
Mummies.
Cats versus mummies.